Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you on this Friday evening. Obviously, it's been an eventful day of weather across North Carolina. One of the worst storms on record for the North Carolina mountains and just western North Carolina as a whole. In fact, travel basically not possible to a lot of places out there. Many people still trying to hear from friends and family. Cell connections not doing well. It's a terrible storm over that way. For us here in the Piedmont, obviously it was an eventful day. We had plenty of rain, lots of gusty winds as well, several different tornado warnings at times throughout the day. But we're doing better. We're doing better than a lot of the other folks in the state. We're certainly thankful for that. And sunshine started to break out by the end of the day on our Friday. Hurricane Helene just causing an entire mess up and down the East Coast. And really, it's one system that we kind of should look at the path a little bit on because it's very unusual how it formed and then how it made its way up the East Coast. It started really earlier as we went into yesterday. You can see it kind of come off the Gulf of Mexico here and then hitting landfall right there in the Big Bend part of Florida. From there, it moved up into Georgia, and you can see this curving motion. It kind of made a curve just like this, and there's a very specific reason for that. Before the storm was even here, we had what's called an upper level low pressure over here. It's just a swirling low pressure like this, and it's really strong, and it can actually capture the low pressure hurricane and kind of fold it in almost. So it's two low pressure systems that start to kind of interact with one another. There has a name for this. It's called the Fujiwara effect. And that's how it works. This system kind of gets spiraled up into it. So that's why it kind of curls back into Tennessee over here rather than coming straight at us here in the Carolinas. And that's where it's sitting. So right now the weather is all a mess across Kentucky, Tennessee, places like Arkansas getting rainfall too, southern Illinois, and also parts of Indiana getting rain from a hurricane, which is not something that you see all the time, if you can imagine for sure. Rain totals, again, prolific. These are starting back on Wednesday. So what I did, I put a 3-day total on this map, and you're noticing who got the most, who really saw the flooding rain, the worst across the storm. And there's Florida, of course, you have the Panhandle, but North Carolina really sticks out on the map, doesn't it? We have radar problems in western North Carolina because there are really tall mountains here. So the radar beam doesn't always estimate the rainfall totally accurately, but we have a couple spots that are unblocked. Let's take, for example, right here, just north of Greenville, South Carolina. Some of these tall peaks here, well over 1 to maybe 2 feet of rain in some spots. That is just way too much to handle. And again, just in a 2 to 3 day period, it's no wonder why we're seeing the roads washed away. I-40 gone right now in the Tennessee border area. We have all these messes. You just can't get from one spot to another right now because of all that rainfall. Farther up the mountains we go, obviously the impacts extend to Boone, of course, as well. There are big problems up here, upwards of about 16 inches of rain in some cases. It's just a mess. Same story in parts of Allegheny County, getting close to about 12 inches of rain or so over a couple of days, much less in the Triad. Obviously we got drenched, there's no doubt about that, but it really was a bit more spaced out, and a lot of our rainfall came from the thunderstorms that we saw a couple of days ago. 2, 3, and 4 inches of rain in some cases. Other spots saw more than others. That's the way it works with these systems. Now, flooding is still going to be possible, but mostly it's all on the rivers now. So we're talking about rain that already fell. Maybe it's still on the roads, but also the river flooding is still what's going to rise a little bit going forward. Specifically the Yadkin River here, starting in Wilkes County, going into Yadkin and Surrey, and then kind of working its way down the Forsyth County line. By the way, that's going to keep going up through the weekend. So right there along that county, let's see, what is it? East Bend, West Bend, those areas down by Louisville as well, Clemens. These are going to be spots that tend to flood pretty badly going into the weekend. We talk about river levels. The Yadkin River is projected to be at a major flood stage, peaking on Saturday morning. So it's going to be tough out there. That's in the Elkin area. From there on out, it goes farther down the line and downstream. The Dan River and the Haw River should be relatively okay. This graphic is intentionally hard to read. I wanted to show you how many storm reports there were all across the southeast. Of course, we had the wind, the rain, the tornado problems across Georgia, North Carolina too. Always, it seems, finding several tropical tornadoes. You know, we still have some investigating to do locally. There are several different showers and storms that produce tornado warnings throughout the day today, which is why we're talking to you so much about the weather on this Friday. It appears that there were a couple that caused some damage across our area. We'll see what the investigations bring, but I think there are at least a couple tornado touchdowns across our northern counties. Places like Rockingham, places like Caswell County, you had those storms that really were causing some fits earlier today. Wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour by and large across our region. These were mainly from that morning time frame. That was when it was the windiest with that early band of showers and storms, but conditions did start to improve throughout the day. To backtrack a little bit, let's talk more about those tornado problems earlier today. What I'm going to show you here, this is actually from the Eden area. So this storm was in between Eden and Stoneville. It's from Jody Pruitt. Sent me this shot of the storm, and what you can see are a couple of different things. Obviously, there's a little bit of rotation here. So this is video. If you look very closely, it is moving around a little bit. And this storm, kind of was moving in the same spot that we're getting some pictures of some damage. We also were able to see some debris on radar. So we'll come to find out a little bit more about this over the next couple of days. But you're clearly looking at a cloud that's strong enough to produce a very powerful funnel cloud and possibly even a touchdown. It's just always hard to tell when there are trees in the way and you don't see debris getting lofted up into the air. This is the same storm a little bit earlier on, so maybe it wasn't quite as mature at this point, but from Cassie over by the Stoneville Airport, the Shiloh Airport in Rockingham County, you can see possibly some lowering of the cloud bases. Those are the types of things that we tend to see with tropical systems. So what can you expect going forward? We have a weekend here, Saturday, Sunday. What's the weather going to be like? Obviously, with the hurricane gone, what are the prospects? Well, we have some remnants back here. We talked about how that other low pressure area sucked up what was left of Hurricane Helene. Now it's still spinning back over here. It will not be a problem for you or for any of us on our Saturday. We'll have some sunshine. Temperatures are pretty comfortable. The dew points are falling, so the humidity goes down, and we'll be in the 70s throughout the day tomorrow. High temperature should be right around 80 degrees or so. So we're in pretty good shape. And like I said, the humidity is falling a little bit. Now, that pivoting low pressure system is going to slowly start to backtrack into our area on the Sunday. And what that'll do is it will actually allow for a chance of a couple showers, pop-up showers, or maybe a storm for Sunday afternoon and some cloud cover as well. Temperatures are going to be in the 70s for that day. Not terrible humidity. It's a lot better than it is right now, but it's still not true fall air. If fall air is what you're wanting, we have it for you. Finally, it's been a little while. We got it for a couple of weeks to start the month of September, and then it went away. So we've been so sticky the last couple of weeks. We're finally going to go back to that crisp fall feel. And here's how it happens. Staying quite humid through Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then early next week, we start to find some changes, don't we? Take a look on Wednesday. That big drop in humidity is going to feel a lot different than we've been right now. How about dew points in the 40s and 50s as we start into early next week? Throughout the rest of the night tonight, skies are going to continue to clear up a little bit. We've already seen some good clearing, temperatures down into the low 60s. Things are looking a lot better, and you really should have no big problems as we go into your weekend. As far as tomorrow goes, this is going to be your Saturday. There are a couple things we'll point out about the forecast. Lots of sunshine, number one, a little bit of falling humidity. We'll have a high temperature right around 80 degrees. And the winds are really not a factor at all. So we're not expecting much of anything. All the showers are pretty much done with for tonight as well. And if you take a look at the forecast, we're really just kind of seeing calmer conditions. So the winds are going away and the temperatures are getting to a pretty comfortable spot. Let's take a look at the rest of the weekend. Going into Sunday, we're going to keep that chance of a shower in there. In fact, a pretty good chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm for Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. We'll have a high temperature right around 80 degrees there as well. And then going into early next week, this is still part of what used to be Hurricane Helene. Remember, it got pushed off into Tennessee, and now it's kind of spinning around a little bit. We'll see some scattered clouds, some scattered showers Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Still kind of muggy around here. Temperatures will be in the 60s for the morning, warming up a little bit by the afternoons into the 70s. But the real comfort is lurking there for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's when your humidity is going to start to fall quite a bit. We'll be in the mid 70s for Wednesday afternoon, waking up to some 50s for the first time in a little while. How about 57 on Thursday morning, 56 for Friday morning, and temperatures will feel pretty good in those afternoons rains as well. This is wrapping a bow on Hurricane Helene for the Triad area. Obviously, not a terrible storm for our region, but we need to be thinking about what's been going on out in western North Carolina. We're going to be learning a lot more with more stories over the next few days. Stay with us for that coverage.